Good evening, good evening, and welcome to a new edition on this lovely Monday night of Urban Sentinel Live. You all gonna have to excuse me tonight because these wintertime allergies, I don't know what kind of weather we got right now, are choking me to death. But I am here, all the way from Las Vegas, the beautiful Toni Breedlove, who's uh, who's the head, the CEO of our network, HTTR. Okay, she's here tonight and fussing, but she's here. And like I told her, I wanted her to be a part of the night. Going towards we had talked about it many times, and I thought the night would be a good night, especially going towards the end of the year for us before Christmas to talk about the network and talk about how she does it. With a show on Monday night, show on Tuesday night, show on Wednesday night, show on Thursday night, and she works. So how she does it. So very curious to find that out. So Toni Breedlove from Las Vegas, Nevada, how are you doing tonight?
I am well, thank you, sir. So glad that you have foregone the interview with Michelle Obama just to
Just for you.
have me here. Uh, we'll get into whether or not that's true or not.
I'll tell her to text you. I'm gonna give you your phone and tell her to text you later. No.
So, what's going on?
Oh, nothing much, nothing much. Just doing what we do on Monday night interview, and
Yeah.
and for the viewers, Toni does a lot more than just run this network. She produces all the shows. I mean, the intro is put together by Toni, so she wears many hats on her network. So, Toni, how did you start your own network? Talk to us about it.
Well, first of all, a lot of people don't understand that it started out of boredom. Honestly, it started out of boredom. I had been working for a transit agency in California, and before coming here to Las Vegas, of course, but I was working for a transit agency, and I ended up picking up a box and hurting my back.
Hmm.
So they took me out of work so that I could try and heal. But I was off for quite a long time, almost a year, basically, trying to avoid surgery. But I got bored and I started using some of the things that I had gone to school for, such as radio broadcasting, radio and TV broadcasting. I had been in the entertainment industry for a number of years as a manager, also writing contracts for major recording companies and artists. So I started getting bored and I started to think, now what can I do that I can also still have that voice and take up some of that time because I was sitting all the time, and I was at home. So I ended up doing some research, and that process started maybe about 2010. And then introduced it to Yvonne. She and I were putting some things together, and it actually started out as just one show, Hot Topics Talk Radio. And basically, we were concentrating on news and politics. And a friend of mine who had worked for Sirius Radio said, you know what, you got something there. People are looking at you. And basically just started putting things together, doing a lot of research. Yvonne would always, do that for me. I actually had a researcher. Um, and that's basically how it started.
Hmm. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you start out with one show, and like I said earlier, you've got a show on Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night.
Mhm.
We're working you to death, aren't
You don't even know.
we?
I miss Judy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's tough, because when, you know, I think nobody really understands or realizes the work that goes behind what we do every week. And basically I only have that one day off, which is Friday, because I
Hmm.
work and get you guys' shows together on Saturday and Sunday. But I don't think a lot of people understand that it's more than us just coming on and getting on and just talking, to a camera. It takes a lot because we have to basically do the research on my side to see what's going to work. Same way with the way that you run your magazine. You have to see that spread and that layout to see what works. So it's the same thing. It's just in a virtual pattern. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. So to juggle all of that, I mean, it becomes difficult, but I try and make sure that I maintain getting my rest. I have a mother who does that. She constantly on me about getting my rest. Um, but I make sure that I do get my rest, and I keep everything compartmentalized so nothing ever is running together. Because I have had that happen with running 4 shows and trying to keep everybody where they're supposed to be. I mixed up nights, so I had to take a step back. That's what I do when we go on hiatus. I take a step back because I have to recharge my battery. So, I mean, that's how I do it. I can't.
Let me ask you a question. Why are podcasts so popular now? Okay, because for me, a podcast is just another version of a radio show,
Mhm.
honestly, and that's all it is. So, why are podcasts? What's how have they gained popularity over the live version that we do here on HTTR? Tell me about it.
So the reason why you find more podcasts, more internet radio shows, and things of that nature now is because it doesn't cost a whole lot of money to run. Whereas when you are running a radio station that is broadcast over radio waves or hitting radio towers and TV towers, you have to pay for the tower itself. You have to pay for the frequency. You have to pay for the time of that frequency. Then you have to pay for the time that it hits the air on someone's station, running through someone's box, basically. So a lot of people have gotten away from that because now there is this option of using the internet, the World Wide Web, and you still gain the number of audience, or you gain those listeners or watchers um, in the same manner. But the advertising is so much different because now you have to do all of your marketing, and your marketing guy knows that. You have to do your marketing in a more strategic manner rather
Mm-hmm.
than how it's done in television because you're paying for spots. Well, in
Mm-hmm.
this type of thing, you don't have to pay for anything except for like what we are running through. We're running through StreamYard. So we have to pay for that service in order for us to be able to broadcast out to people live. But as far as having to pay for sponsors and sponsor time and all of that, you don't necessarily have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
But you can
that is
still.
why now people get away from
Mhm.
mainstream radio and television.
Mhm. But you can still have sponsors even for our shows. We can have sponsors
Yeah.
for our
Oh, of
shows.
course.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the sponsor dollars, luckily, I think we all love what we do. There's a purpose of what we do here on every night. But I think because all of us love what we do, we really don't hit the pavement hard on sponsorships. Because when you hit that pavement hard on sponsorships and you sign a contract, then you have to abide by that contract to make sure that they're getting so many minutes
Hmm.
of airtime, whether it be something we mention or something that we put in video form, a commercial.
Hmm.
So you have to be careful with that. But luckily, we all love it a lot. So it's not like we've got sponsors coming out of our ears. Although I wish we did,
Yeah,
because then
be
I could
nice.
pay everybody for what, pay everybody for what they do,
Yeah.
and upgrade equipment and
Hmm.
things of that nature. Mhm.
Because see, Urban Simpson Live, is it 1 year at the beginning of the year or 2 years?
It'll be 2 years.
2 years. Gosh, I must really love what I'm doing.
I,
I'm serious. I must really love what I'm doing. Cause am I going into my second year or going into my third year?
you're going into your third year.
Gosh, awesome.
And it's
That
funny
is something.
because, yeah, it's funny
Yeah.
because, before we were talking, or before we came on air, we were talking about, different things about,
Hmm.
listenership and viewers. But it's funny that over the last 11 years, because it has been 11 years for us, as a
Hmm.
network,
Hmm.
um, I look at the shows that we put out, the shows that were in place from the time we started up through now.
Hmm.
And I see so much growth, not just in the shows, but in the radio personalities themselves. And when you talk about loving something or doing something, that's why I love it, because I've been able to see every one of you grow,
Hmm.
and basically gain your listenership. You're branding yourselves. You're doing all of these things that it takes for radio personalities or television personalities to do. So I enjoy just watching the growth year
Hmm.
after year.
Now, what? Why have you ever? Why haven't you ever gone to Sirius SM or something like that and put together shows? Why haven't you done that?
So I don't know if you remember back in, mm, I'm gonna oh, I'm gonna say maybe about 5, 6 years ago. Sirius Radio did approach us. And the problem that I had with Sirius is that it would have been a great thing if it would have been for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So Sirius loved the package. They loved what we do. You've got 4 shows and they're all different under the same network, but they bring something different. They wanted me to cut out my radio personalities, bring me on, write all of my shows, produce, and I not bring anybody with me because they would hire a staff for me.
Hmm.
And at that time, I'm thinking, you know what? I've worked too hard to gain something that's my own, and to give something to folks to make them feel that this is their own. Because these are you guys' shows. I
Hmm.
don't tell you how to run your show. I don't tell Truth Brothers how to run their show. These are your shows. And for me to have to then leave everybody that has worked so hard and have enjoyed what they've been doing and not be able to provide them with an opportunity, no, I didn't think it was right. So I've had them approach me twice.
Hmm.
Um, and both times they still are not budging on that. And I just can't do it. I can't, and I won't.
That's a shame they wouldn't let you bring your whole staff, bring your shows and your people to them.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
And let us
Because
continue on.
right, because you also have to remember when they approach you like that, they're asking for demographics. They're asking for your numbers, things that we were talking about before the show. And what they do is they do a breakdown as to, okay, what show is doing what. Uh, are there as many comments or is there many interactions with, say for instance, they looked at the show and they saw that Stephanie, who was in the chat room, she was writing all these comments and all these comments were to you, right? And then Sirius would turn around and say, well, hell, she's only writing to Reggie. Reggie's the most popular. So why would we need Toni? And that's
Hmm.
how they base it.
Hmm.
So if you're not branding yourself, then they don't have an opportunity of seeing you shine with your audience because you're not
Hmm.
addressing your audience enough. So that was the purpose of them saying, you know what, let's start from scratch. We like what you've done, blah, blah, blah. But what it did also is it took my media control and my creative control away because, again,
Hmm.
they would write my shows, they would tell me what I'm going to talk about. And whereas here, everybody in every show has an opportunity to talk about what they want to talk
Right.
about, you know, and to build their brand. So
Hmm.
that's what it was about.
Okay. Very interesting. Well, look, what do you think of all the? I mean, we were talking before the show. There are a number. Everybody seems to have a show these days. I mean, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Zoom, you can go to Facebook. Everybody has a show, and there's a lot of other networks out there like HTTR that have shows that they are producing. So what you think about that? I mean, it's like thousands of shows out there right now.
It is. But then I want you to think back when it was there was not Urban Sentinel Live and we were doing real world news, right? There were a number of different shows at that time when we were on Blog Talk. And over the years, I've seen them all dissipate. They've all
Hmm.
gone away. There's a few in there, a few stragglers. But I've seen how this particular market, when we talk about podcasting and internet radio and TV, I've seen how some people can't keep up with technology. That's another thing.
Hmm.
That's the biggest thing is because you've got to be able to change with the market and change with how people are receiving information. Then there are the issues of setting yourself apart from all of those other shows. How do you set yourself apart? Well, that is how we came about each one of these shows. Each one of these shows offers something different. For instance, Urban Sentinel Live is a spin from a magazine, and you get an opportunity of interviewing and sitting down one on one and face to face in front of, hundreds and thousands of people every Monday night. And how that sets you apart from everybody else is because everybody else hasn't taken the idea to spin their show off of a magazine. You've had guests on who are music legends. Everybody doesn't have that opportunity to do that, you know? So that's what sets us apart from other shows. You won't find a show like Truth Brothers. They hit hard, they
Yep.
bring you the truth. And it's two black men,
Hmm.
who are highly intelligent, but they know how to get down in the dirt with the folks. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Then then there's real world news. You don't find something with you and Chara's chemistry. Both of you highly intelligent, and I say that all the time. You guys are the smartest people I know, but you don't see
Sharon, Sharon is she's Miss Webster dictionary.
that.
I call her Miss Webster dictionary.
I know she
Yeah.
uses those big words. I have to be
Yes.
looking it up all the
Hmm.
time. I'm like, oh, but and then Hot Topics is different because you've got two women who will get down in the dirt,
Hmm.
and make it fun and break up the people's week, and have something to talk about over the water cooler, and then they keep coming back because they want to see, okay, what is going to come out of their mouths this week. So each one of these shows have been designed just for that. They're cutting edge. They stay away from what you see in mainstream and what you see everywhere else on the net.
Right.
Hmm.
Well, I appreciate everything you've done for me because I have had the opportunity here on Urban Central Live to interview
Hmm.
some great people, some important people, some people who are just doing their own thing. I think everybody I interview, they bring something different to the show and then bring a new perspective on what they're doing. Some of them are
Exactly.
known, some are unknowns, and I think that's what I try to do.
Mhm.
I mean,
But that's the whole purpose, right?
yeah,
Because
and the thing,
the
and
whole thing is that you're able to provide someone with 30 minutes
mm-hmm.
uh, of airtime. Mhm. But you're providing 30 minutes of airtime that will cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars
Mm-hmm.
if they were trying to get on someone's show. Because
Mm-hmm.
you have payola,
Yeah.
that still is existent.
Mm-hmm.
So you have someone who is able to, if they've come out with a book, be able to give them that 30 minutes, because that is something that they can take to uh, their followers.
Mm-hmm.
They can use it. That is how you're helping them uh,
Mm-hmm.
in media. A lot of people don't have that opportunity, and
Mm-hmm.
especially free.
Yeah.
So you're doing something that other people, just won't do.
Mm-hmm. But maybe I'll start doing my little old payola, okay?
No, you won't.
But look, and one of the things I found out about this show, the people are watching it because I do have, like after I did Melissa Morgan, I
Melissa
had a
Morgan.
yeah, I had a number of PRs email me about getting their people on the show
Exactly.
and everything, So
Exactly.
that's pretty good, and to have that influence. And then I made some connections where with the magazine, some people have seen the show, and we're thinking about doing a syndication of the magazines and working together to boost advertising dollars for the
Right.
magazines and stuff. So it has had its rewards, doing this and being able to connect to people. And then I was looking at something on Facebook one day, and someone who had been on the show was using clips of this show and what they were doing. I mean, so I
I
mean,
mean, that's going to happen.
yeah, yeah,
It's going to happen, but
hmm
I would always look at it this way.
hmm
Um, as long as they're not capitalizing off of your name and off of your show,
right,
have at it.
yeah,
Because then we start getting into some legal stuff that I have
hmm
to then get involved with.
hmm
But as long as they're not capitalizing, making money off of your images and things like
hmm
that, then you're good.
hmm
Um, but I think it's a compliment when people will take a clip of your show that they have been on
hmm
and spread it around, because basically that's your advertising. That's
hmm
your free advertising.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So where do you see your network 5 years down the road?
That's a good question,
hmm
because mama's tired. It's like, oh my
They're
God.
tired too. Look, I got
I
some
mean, it's a
years
good
out here.
question.
hmm
It's a good question. I think that, you know, when we look at the fact that it's been 11 years going into 12 years, you look at it and you say, God, that's a long time. And you guys aren't doing nothing but this. But just think of the many people that we've captured over these years. The network has grown tremendously, uh, more so than I'd ever thought that it would grow.
hmm
But I will still be reaching out, trying to make sure that I can cut deals for any of the shows. I would rather see me cut a deal for, you and Shara, and see you guys go on to glory than just to have one person go. But then that would be up to that one person, because
hmm
it surely won't be me, because I will never leave anybody behind, for fear that I couldn't pull you forward.
hmm
But I'll still be marketing the shows, still be pushing it out there, still bringing the audience, the viewers, things that they want to talk about, things that, excite them and make them laugh, make them think. So I'll still be doing that, still be doing it.
hmm Now, what are the numbers on the total network each month?
The total network coming from all sources of internet. It could be, of course, Facebook, where we broadcast, and on
hmm
YouTube, but they're called organic numbers, and they're coming from all over the place, and how
hmm
people access the show, even from their cell phones. That would be considered organic.
hmm
Um, just over the past 2 years, we've gone from right at about 10, 11,000 to about 18,000 viewers a month. And that's a combination of all four shows.
hmm hmm
So it's combined with not just the US, but also 10 countries.
Okay. 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 That's fine. we doing it. We doing the darn thing. We
We
doing it.
doing it.
Yeah, and I appreciate everything that you do for Urban Central Live every week. Getting
Absolutely.
getting it written up and producing it, doing the intro, and I mean, you doing a lot. You know, you're doing a lot. If I had to do it by myself, I'd probably be tripping over myself each
I
week
know,
trying to
because
get it done.
I know Yvonne.
Mhm.
At the end of every week,
Uh-huh.
she will send me a message, and she'll say, "I know you got your computer on. Turn it off."
Mhm. Turn it off.
So, because I'm
Yeah,
always working on the shows.
yeah,
My
yeah.
Saturdays and Sundays are built around the
Mhm.
shows.
Yeah, yeah,
Mama don't have a life.
yeah, yeah.
These shows are my life.
Hmm. Well, it's a testimony to you, and to what you love to do, and
Thank you.
the work that you do. I mean, I came by way of Real World News TV when it was me, Jay, and Sharon, and then
Yeah,
Jay dropped off, and Sharon and I kept going. Then we had
yeah,
Derek come on, then
yeah,
he left, and then Sharon and I still at it.
yeah,
Then it's,
yeah.
then it's me, Sharon, and her dog. So we
Oh,
are
thank
we still doing it over on Real World News
Yeah,
uh,
but
TV.
and I try and tell you guys regularly that I'm very proud of what you guys are doing. I really am. And it's not easy because some days are just those days, and everybody has them, where you just don't feel like it. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're sick,
Hmm.
necessarily tired or anything like that. We just have those days as human beings, and face it, we're not spring chickens. Okay,
Mm-mm.
so for you guys to hang in there and do these shows every week, you know, and yours doesn't stop because of the magazine. For you guys to
Hmm.
do all of what you do, I tell you guys all the time. I'm very proud of you. I'm pleased with what you're doing. Couldn't ask for a better crew. I mean,
Hmm.
I just
Cause
couldn't.
I'll be honest, some Monday nights and Tuesday nights I come home, all I want to do is hit the couch and fall asleep.
I know. I
You know,
know.
and then I'll be
I
saying,
know.
oh, okay, I can get it in. I can catch the sleep the rest of the week. Let me get my shows in, because I really enjoy doing it. I enjoy
Yeah.
doing the shows, and like I said, it's opened up some doors for the magazine and for what I do. Because some of the people that I have had on here, especially the heavyweights, they don't interview with everyone. You
Yeah, I
know,
know.
they don't interview everyone. So like when I had uh, uh,
Here it is.
Beyonce's father on,
Now that was a good show.
Matthew Knows. I mean, you don't see him doing interviews all
He
the time.
doesn't.
You
He
know,
doesn't do interviews.
yeah. So I mean, I was really, I felt good. It was a privilege to have him on the show because I know he's not someone that goes on an interview. And then, what I like by that show, you know, I was never going to talk to him about Beyonce. I wanted to talk to him about him. Even though his publicist said, we want to stay away from those questions, I had never planned to go that way anyway because I
Hmm.
wanted to interview him because he's a very knowledgeable person. He's doing a lot in the
Yeah.
business world. He knows a lot, and I
Yeah.
just wanted to pick his brain. That's what I
But you
wanted to do.
know, But you know what I find interesting though is
Mhm.
that, like with your show and Truth Brothers, because they had one of the top specialists on their show when COVID, the numbers about COVID were coming out and
Mhm.
all of this, and she was one of the epidemiologists. Is that what
Mhm.
they're called?
Yeah.
Black woman. I mean, she's doing it. But what I find interesting about you guys' show, because we don't have guests on our show, um, Hot Topics and Real World, which we used to.
Mhm.
Um, but the people that you guys sit down with and you come on the show, there's a level of comfort that I think they feel where they don't get with mainstream media
Mhm.
because they have already seen the damage that they have done. And what I think that they see when they come on these shows, which is so different, is that they see a level of genuine concern as to what you're talking about. They see that there's a level of trust. They see all of the things that they can let go and they can be comfortable and relax, and give you a good interview. They will tell you things that you didn't ask.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say, you guys do a fabulous job. You really do. You really, really do. And I appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. So we have had a sit down conversation with the great Toni Breedlove, all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada, founder and CEO of HTTR Network. And I'm part of her stable of shows at HTTR Network, and I thought it was important to sit down with the face behind the network and talk to her tonight
That's
and
because you
interview
couldn't
her.
get nobody else.
Okay, I'll tell you, when you look at your phone and Michelle saying, "Thank you, Tony, for taking my place tonight," you're gonna be shocked. Okay, but I do appreciate you. You know that all that you do. Now, for you all that love politics, come back and join myself and Sherry Ann Tappet tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. ET time, and we're gonna be talking about the parental responsibility of a killer. It's crazy out here, and for what happened in Michigan and for the parents to be so cavalier and nonchalant about what they did, that's very disappointing. And
Yeah.
we're not only going to talk about them, we're going to talk about it happens in all our communities. It's not a color thing when it comes to parental responsibility. A lot of times, parents let the guard down, or they just allow the children to run wild. And so we want to really discuss that because if we're going to have a better nation and a better world, parents need to do a better job of being responsible for their kids, okay? And that's what we want to hit upon tomorrow night. So, Tony, again, I appreciate you sitting down with me tonight on the Urban Sentinel Live show to discuss your network, which is a great network to be a part of. And if anybody else wants to try to squeeze the show in, I mean, I think she got Friday night and Saturday night and Sunday night open. Hey,
I
she might
don't.
go for it. You never know. You
It's like,
might be, you might be the squeeze in the show. Yeah, But we all love to do what we do because, like I said, we all are out working or doing something else during the day, or we have other projects that we get to be working on. So this is a labor of love and something that we really enjoy. And Tony is the driving force behind it. She keeps the whip on us. So I appreciate that. Yeah. So okay, Tony, your final word for the audience.
final word is come on back and check out the shows Monday through Thursday. Tomorrow, like you found us here on Urban Sentinel live on Monday night. You can find Reggie back here tomorrow night on Real World News. That's every Tuesday night. And on Wednesday night is me and Yvonne Baker for Hot Topics Talk Radio, and Devon, Patrick, and Ray Gage on Thursday night for Truth Brothers. I just want to say thank you to everyone who had tuned in tonight, and also to those who have been following this network and the series of shows under the network, because your support has been greatly important. It helps these shows to continue to bring you what we bring you every week, and these are great personalities. You need to follow them, give them your love by sharing the shows with your family and friends. And thanks again for tuning in. That's all I'm gonna say. That's
Okay.
going to be it.
Yeah. Don't she sound like Oprah, the up and coming? She's the other Oprah on the other side.
Who?
You.
No,
You
I
sound
don't.
good. You sound good. Yes, you do. You sound good. Sound good.
Oh,
I got.
please.
I can't do another show with her because I might come up and she called me up and say, "Reggie, I'm going to ABC." And I said, "Okay, bye. See you later."
No,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna leave.
Okay.
I'm not leaving. I'm not going nowhere.
All
Nowhere.
right. So, everyone, please enjoy the rest of your week. We thank you for viewing the show tonight. And go out and enjoy your Christmas shopping. Stay masked up, keep your hands washed, and do what you got to do. This virus is still around. So, until next Monday night, Take care. Be blessed. Have a good rest of the week. Peace.